Hey guys, I'm gonna do a quick short video on how to basically build a homemade pipe. Two things like I commonly use, like a couple of sockets, one for the mouthpiece. Obviously, get a small socket for like the mouthpiece, and try and use it like a bigger socket for like the bowl. And you'll need foil, tape, uh, tape of your choice, but I tend to use paper tape and like plastic like tape. Now let's get straight into the build. Oh, and you also need a pen wherever I am. You'll need a pen. Got my little Bandera Modern Dentistry little pen here. It's kind of like broken at the moment because like I think it'll stick and it won't actually click and shit, but lock into place and stuff. So basically what we're going to do is grab a sheet of foil. Just like a small sheet of foil. Like what I tend to do is like fold the foil in half, just like kind of like that. You have like that, and like stick your pen on the other side. And basically, for this situation, I'll tear like extra off, and we'll use this to make the basically the bowl stopping, like basically like the tobacco pipe filter and stuff. So like I cut it a little short. Like you'll basically want to have a pen. Like you can either have it in the center, or you can have it on the edge. It's up to you. I tend to start it on the edge. Basically, what you're gonna do is take the end of the pen, basically put it in the socket, and just like start basically rolling this foil around. You kind of want to have the foil wrap around the actual, like towards like the top quarter of the actual socket, and then basically from there you basically like kind of crush it around the like socket. The pen is there so you don't crush the entire stem. You'll have like a little setup like this, honestly, ready to go. Hang on, I'm gonna plug my phone in just to get a little extra leverage and see if it actually will freaking work. It did. So, kind of. Sorry, fuck, my phone's not cooperating. At least basically it'll look like this kind of. Obviously I'm gonna take a foil from here, like find the edge of the foil, and just like right here, just fucking tear it all the way around, so like to where it's basically flush towards like the center, and basically fucking tighten it. Then basically what you're gonna do is pull this pen out, take your little rinky-dink mouthpiece socket. As you can see here, like the socket end is going to be bigger, and if you look here as well, we're going to have to put like sometimes this happens, basically when you have a situation like this, where you got like a major hole in the flaw in the mouthpiece, basically you'll take your little pen and basically put it back in the stem, and basically flush out the mouthpiece. Pull the stem back out, take like your pinky finger, kind of like wedge it in there a little bit. That should create a hole big enough to actually stick the socket in, like so. I'm using I'll pull this like end out real quick. Right now the sockets I'm using for this are of 15/16 for the bowl. Pop it back into place and seal it. And I got I got like a little, sorry, it's a little bright for the screen. You can't really see it, but it's a 3/16 for the mouthpiece. Like and you basically kind of like wedge it in there, and just basically press the foil around the mouthpiece and stuff. Now here comes the fun part. you take your like for me, it'll be paper tape. This is the hardest part of doing it. I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit. So, like, this is the hardest part of the job. The little camera setup is like a little actual fucking bottle. So, like, literally, it's not staying for shit. So, take a pipe that I already previously built. Basically, kind of like, if the bowl starts coming loose, that's kind of normal. But basically, you're gonna take your tape. For me, like in this instance, it'll be paper tape, and basically try and make it flush. My camera does not want to stay for shit. Kind of like do it like this way. So kind of like basically have it just like for paper tape and stuff like that. You want it to have a little lower. And try and get it as straight as you possibly can. And you basically wrap, pull like a sheet, and just basically wrap. Basically, just like you'll just basically wrap around the bowl. Oh, the fucking camera fell. There's a problem right there. So I'm at a point where I can just do this right there in my lap, right here in my lap. Like me personally, I like to just start out flush, tear the piece off, kind of like gently, like you're gonna basically kind of like gently squeeze it until you're like around the bowl. Once you're around the bowl, then you're gonna like kind of like pack it tight. But if you're around the bowl, like the socket bowl, you're obviously gonna basically squish it tight. But now here comes the interesting part. You're gonna basically take like try and find the area where you tore off, basically right there, I think. And you're going to, sorry, this is not in focus. I'm using my cell phone to do this. But basically you're gonna kind of like angle the tape, and just you're gonna end up like depending on how like you want yours wrapped. But basically I try and do it kind of like a candy cane wrap as best as I can, and just basically pull a bunch of tape, pull a long ass length of tape, and just kind of like continue to like try and wrap it as best you can. Like you won't always be successful, and it's obviously when you squish it down around the stem, like, it's obviously gonna like mold towards like the outline. As you can see, it's like folding up on me and stuff. It's like you're not gonna even get a perfect wrap every time, especially if you're doing this as beginners. If you're more like avid, like professional little pipe and bong, homemade pipe and bong makers, and you'll probably do like basically you'll be able to do this a little better. Personally, I'm gonna wrap this one up with duct tape, and like the outer tape. Like I'm gonna do like an interesting little wrap. This is where once you get to like the socket, you're gonna cut it, like tear it off, and just basically go around gently squeezing. Sorry for all the noise. My phone charger's like a little fucked up, and my phone is kind of like stupid as well. You're gonna basically like kind of like squeeze it, and then when you get to like the mouthpiece in this case, I'm gonna just plug my phone to this, and hope I have enough like life. I have 14%. I think I have enough life to finish this video. You're basically gonna squeeze it real hard and tight around the mouthpiece, and you're gonna basically, this is basically enough tape, more than enough tape that you'll need. So basically, you'll take a small strip and basically kind of like go like about halfway up the mouthpiece. You can go a little higher, a little lower. It's up to you. It's all in preference. I like to go a little like, try and do like a midway. Have it like a basically midway. And just like wrap it. And then you're going to squeeze it again. And then like when it comes to like the mouthpiece, you're going to squeeze it real tight. And like for each bowl and mouthpiece that I do in all my pipes, I literally have 3 pipes already built, just built tonight. I have a bag of tobacco and like no regular pipe. I couldn't find my regular pipe, so I just decided to like spend energy where I'm not doing so hot tonight. Basically, like a cool thing I like to do just to build like a little extra bonus, like sealant, is like you probably can't see it. Like try and have the like plastic tape, you know, Scotch tape works for the best. But have like a little bit of it like hanging over the mouthpiece, and then when you like melt it down, and basically when you start like heating up the tape, I kind of went a little heavy. I don't know if you can actually see it, so I'm gonna unwrap it and try and redo this again. And still a little heavier than I. Sorry about that. My wrist was like on the bottle, and I got my phone. I have a bottle, like Gatorade bottle full of tea, just holding up my little. Still a little heavy, but that's okay. And you'll start like wrap it a couple times around the mouthpiece, and just like gradually move up around the entire section. You're gonna kind of want to wrap it a couple times, because basically what will happen is that as you heat up the tape, like if you get a little crazy with the heat, it'll start melting the tape literally. It'll literally start melting the tape, and at that point you kind of take the tape. I'll show you here in a minute what to do, and just like kind of go around, do a couple layers, as many layers as you feel necessary, but just realize the more layers you do, like the worse off you're gonna kind of like be when it comes to like creating an airtight seal. I use rocking a black Smith & Wesson Black Ops, like one of my personal favorite pocket knives. Like this, it has a safety. This lever in the back will release the blade. Can like show off my knife real quick. Basically cut the tape as best you can. You're not gonna be able to see me cut the tape. Sorry about that. And you basically roll the tape back under the roll. Put the tape back under the roll, and just like, and then obviously you're gonna press the tape all the way around the mouthpiece. Then I start at the mouthpiece most times, half the time, and then I'll go to like the bowl. The bowl's a little more trickier, especially when you got literally that much to work with, especially with this size bowl as well. So I'm gonna pull like huge length out and try and like this is a little difficult. But you're basically gonna try. I pulled way too much tape out. Good thing it didn't wrap. Or basically like pinch itself. Cut down the tape. Tape length. It's a little more controllable. Obviously, switch sides. But basically, you're gonna try and start at the highest point. Like basically right here is the highest point. Like if you like go around the entire bowl, you'll notice like the highest point is literally right here. So I'm running out of battery. So you kind of like want to have it like straight flush, as straight as you can possibly get it. Like granted, like, and keep it as like not as like kind of make it to where like you can build like actual heated like you're basically what you're gonna do when you heat up the tape is you're basically melting the tape together, and you're basically all you're doing is like creating an airtight seal. My first pipe that I made, I literally wrapped it in this little Scotch tape roll, uh, and like heated it up all the entire pipe, all on the stem in the bowl, all the way to the mouthpiece and stuff. Obviously, my first pipe was a kind of interesting one. I wish I didn't kind of like had a picture of it. Hang on. Had a little picture of it, or at least like a video of how I made it. I was dealing with like a little bit of anxiety. Yeah, see how like you got holes all around here. So in like this situation, in this case, I'm not gonna go outside to get duct tape. I should have grabbed it before I sat down, but like I'll also post a small video in addition, like make a part 2 to this video, and kind of like you're gonna set up the tape to where it's gonna be able to go around the entire thing, but like barely go over, like barely, like it's gonna gradually go down because you don't want any air like pockets to where um, like little pockets to where air can escape through, and like the heat treatment is what I call the phase. um, I'm gonna try and speed this up as I talk. You already know the basic idea. I can explain the idea to where you want to keep is like overlap as much, like kind of like find that happy medium of each tape band, like instead of like having it half taped up, like have like the last tape band reach half of the new tape band. You're basically trying to like get it into the quarter area. I think that's your best bet. And I'll probably pause the video just so I can wrap it again and get my phone charging a little bit, because I'm probably at like 8-9% on my phone. I'm not going to check because I just want to get this little video done real quick. When you go too fast, you're going to basically end up with an air pocket. So like I'm trying to like compensate for all. Like you're going to end up with a hole where the masking tape shouldn't have a hole. And basically you're going to go all the way from starting from the bowl, going all the way into like your Scotch tape that's holding, gonna basically create an airtight seal, just like that. I'll probably do a second layer off video. You get a little extra. Got the tape, wrap it around, kind of like gently squeeze it around the stem, and then around the bowl. Like you're gonna in the mouthpiece, you're gonna squeeze it real tight. Now this is like the tricky part. I'll probably end up just covering the stem with duct tape, but like I'll show you basically what you're gonna do. This is gonna be a little harder to show because it's like basically you're gonna heat up the end to try and like kind of lit that on fire by accident. Basically, you're gonna heat up the end and then like pull it over, like wrap it around. Didn't do a good job there, but the rest of this you're gonna basically heat up. Kind of like see how it's kind of like melting. Hard to see, but it's like basically kind of melting for my vision. You're gonna heat it up to where it's like gets to the point where it's almost melting, and then like press it. Like I recommend having a high, like either getting gloves or having a high pain tolerance, like I do. I have a high pain tolerance, so like I think we're good on the airtight seal around the bowl. So like we'll move on to like how do we get tobacco to stay here? Basically, you take extra like your extra strip of foil, and basically what you're gonna do, rip off a strip, and basically kind of like make a square with it, kind of like put it on top, hold it on like towards like on top of the bowl. Take your finger and try and like push it down towards the bottom, and then like as you can see, it kind of like folded out. So you're gonna hold one end. This like bowl in particular was perfect for this scenario. I did this completely by accident. Most bowls are like most bowls I usually use like the socket end and shit. Well, I'm gonna go overboard with this little piece to like make a more tight seal. And sometimes if you really want to, like have it overflow. That way, get like two long strips, kind of like basically how I did it here. Especially with a bowl like this size, you're gonna get try and get like two decently sized strips. I'm actually gonna tear like a small, extra small little. Yeah, I'm basically at 5% right now, I think. Oh, fuck, I fucked that up. Sorry about that. Like, shit. I could actually use this. You're basically gonna have it like basically crisscross, like you know, and kind of like gently, kind of push in. Uh, Sometimes you'll have to like fold it in around your finger, like I'm doing now, and like push it like down in, and then like basically fold the extra fold out around, and then push against like the sides of the bowl. This is probably gonna be like my heavy smoker, like while I'm dealing with severe anxiety and stuff. Now, what do you do with like the foil? You can either use Scotch tape, which I recommend if you're gonna get real close to the edge of the bowl. But personally, I'm going to use paper tape, and basically, um, I can pull a strip and tear it off, and it fucking curled up on me. Great. Basically, you're gonna try and have like that overlapping, and like this is like the shortest part of the entire thing. So like you're kind of like basically going to start your like that's the point where you're gonna like put your tape on, like just a little bit on it, and wrap it around. So obviously you're gonna go tape heavy, a little bit tape heavy on this, and you try and stay away from the actual edge. I've burnt like tape jobs and stuff by doing that. I'm like getting too close to the edge and stuff. I'm just basically gonna wrap it around and just squeeze it again. Like it's basically already sealed. And then like for the bowl, the foil in the bowl, you can just press it against the walls and stuff, just like I'm doing. And then you're gonna take your pen, whatever I did with it. There it is. You're gonna take your pen. Obviously, you're gonna have like the tip stick out. You're basically gonna try and like gently, basically. Oh shit! Like, I'm gonna need a nail for this situation. I'm gonna pause there. Actually, you know what? I'll like use my knife for this situation. If I have to, I'll like there. See, we got all like kind of like well, even make it to where like it's super deep. That is a super deep bowl if I've ever seen one. Like, it goes on like half, like a quarter way up my finger, and I just basically like press it all the way around the bowl. And you know, I'm gonna wrap this one up in duct tape. Do a complete duct tape wrap on it. But there you go. You have your homemade pipe. Um, Obviously, different sockets that work for different like situations. Like I have this pipe over here. I used a 7/16 for here. I got 5/32 over here, I think. I don't remember exactly what I used for the mouthpiece. It doesn't really work really good, so I'm obviously gonna have to wrap it in duct tape to get a better seal on it. But like, this was the first pipe of the night I made. Obviously, you can see I already kind of curved it, and I made my buddy a pipe, a tobacco pipe, and I'm gonna wrap his like more like a candy cane wrap for kind of like basically this paper tape wrap kind of style with duct tape and like basically I'm gonna with this pipe I'm probably just end up using masking tape for this one and just heating up the entire edge and stuff, and then this one will be my specialty duct tape kind of pipe. This will be my duct tape like secondary daily carry kind of thing. But my phone's dying. That is all for the video. This is Anderson Clan. Peace out, y'all.